is how to make a brim on the circular knitting machines. So we are going to use junk yarn, contrasting colors, something that doesn't blend in with your project color. And we are going to cast on and knit 5 rows. Okay, now that we have knit that, we are just going to let the tail hang. And we are going to put in our new hat color, or the color that we want for our brim. And we are going to let that tail hang. And make sure you leave it just a little bit long. And then clear your row counter. Hold these so they don't fall out. Make sure they're all good. And I'm going to knit 35 rows for my brim. That's what I always do for my brims. Some people like to do 40 or 45. It's really just up to you and what you prefer to do. So knit however many rows you want for your brim, and I will meet you at the end. Okay, so I've completed my 35 rows of the brim. I'm going to go back to the very beginning, to my first row, and I'm going to find my 2 tails, and there they are. So as you can see, this is not a completed stitch because the tail's hanging out. So I'm going to follow my junk yarn right here into this loop, and then I'm going to follow it up here where the junk yarn tail is hanging out. I'm going to grab my hat tail yarn and I'm going to pull it through those 2 loops. And now I have a completed first stitch, and this will be the very first stitch that goes on the first needle of the machine. All right, now we are going to start casting the brim on. If you want to change your color, now is the time to change your color. You need to clear your row counter because from now on you need to know how many rows are you going to do for the rest of the hat. So I usually do 30 rows for a fitted hat. So we're going to take the very first stitch that we made, and that's going to go on to the very first needle of the machine. And this is why junk yarn is so helpful, because you can see that these are the first stitches of our project. And these are what we will be picking up and putting on the machine. If you do your first row or first few rows too tight, it'll make it hard to put this on around the machine. So we're going to grab the first one, and we're going to put that on the hook. Grab the next one, put that on the hook, and that one, put that on the hook. Push them all down, and sometimes the first one doesn't want to go down all the way, so just back up a tiny bit and let it fall. Leave your tail hanging out, and knit. Make sure that they're all pushed down. And now you're going to come over here and you're going to grab the next one and put that on. The next. And the next. Push them all down. Back up a little bit. And we will continue this process all the way around the machine. And here we are at the last stitch. Sometimes this can be kind of hard to see. But here is the last one. Put that up on there. Make sure it goes down. And there you go. That is your very first row of the head part piece, the upper hat part. So I usually knit 30 rows. If you want to, in about 10 to 15 rows, you can take the junk yarn off, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. Okay, so to take your junk yarn and save it without cutting it, you can see that this right here is the very first row that you did, because it has those first stitches on it. So my tail is coming out this way, which means I need my tail to be pulled this way. So I am going to go to the top of this one, and that's my tail, and I am going to start pulling it this way. That's inside that one. And now just unravel it. And there you go. Your junk yarn is saved, and you can keep on using it. And you can tie off and secure these. Just tie them around the stitches a few times and hide it in the brim, and then end your hat how you want to. Junk yarn if you're going to be crocheting or something, or just cast off normal, however you would like. I'm going to cast off normal on this hat, just make it a regular fitted beanie. And there we have it, a regular fitted beanie. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick, simple little video. Thank you.